Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a quick rundown on a, well, new to me. It's kind of a new model from CJRB. It's one that, there was some hype about a while back, and I missed the first run of these, and so I'm a little behind the eight ball. But for me, this is the first impressions. I haven't had this very long, and I wanted to just give you guys a quick rundown. So when I first saw CJRB start talking about these, I was definitely drawn to the design. I've had a couple of other CJRB knives, and generally speaking, the feldspar, of course, standing out among those. But generally speaking, they're pretty well done. And so when I saw this design, I was like, yeah, you know what? I really would like to check one out. Um, the only downside, I guess, would for me be the black blade. I'm usually not a fan of coated blades. I'm still not in general a fan of coated blades, but this is how this one sort of became available. There are, I believe, already some exclusives. I think Knife Center might have an exclusive, but now that I share that, I'm gonna dissuade you from going to Knife Center. Go over to White Mountain Knives, pick one of these up. You will save yourself 10% off. I don't think Southern Edge Knife Works. My knife retailers are getting crossed in my brain. I don't think Southern Edge Knife Works has any in stock. Go ahead and check it out. I think I've seen CJRB knives in their stock before, so they may have one. Anyway, White Mountain Knives is where I got this one. Save yourself 10% off. Use my discount code SHARPSTUFF. You can pick one up as well. They did still have some in stock as of the recording of this. I'm not sure when it'll post. It's deer season, and so I'm going to be spending as much time as possible in the bush, but I will at some point in the next 2 weeks. This will get posted, but I can't promise that 2 weeks later these will still be in stock. Anyway, let me give you a quick rundown on this. First of all, I was interested in the steel. It's the RPM 9 steel, which is CJRB's sort of, exclusive or in-house steel. The performance on it seems to be pretty darn good, similar to like VG10 or so, which is pretty nice from a budget steel. I think, I think the closest comparable chemically is 9CR18 MOV, which is, by the way, great steel as well, but it's powdered metallurgy. So pretty neat steel, still coming in at a fairly budget price point. So that's kind of cool. Wanted to make mention of that. I know the coated blade is there, and I'm not in love with it. It's not a thick blade either, fairly thin stock. This is more of an EDC, slicing type knife than something you're going to want to put into a really hard use, abusive type situation. It does have bearings in the pivot, I guess ball bearings in the pivot. I guess every knife has some kind of bearing surface, but these happen to be ball bearings in the pivot. Pretty nice flipper tab. The detent seems to be pretty well dialed in here. So enjoyable action. Liner lock, nested liners, by the way. This, I don't know, red burgundy micarta. Sometimes this will be called brown, I think, and I don't know. It does not look the least bit brown to me. Like, this is brown. This is not brown. Anyway, call it what you want. Titanium clip, which is a nice touch. It's a milled clip, seems to work pretty well. The handle is contoured and feels pretty nice in hand. You do have that option to choke up, which I definitely appreciate. I think that covers most of the features. It's standoff construction. Oh, and there is a nice pivot collar there as well. So I think that covers a quick rundown on all of the features. If I've forgotten anything, go ahead and mention it in the comments. Of course, in a full review, I'll be a little more thorough. I guess there's a lanyard attachment point as well, and I didn't really mention that. Size and weight on this, it's just a hair over 8 inches, just under 3.5 inches on the blade, 3 3/4 inches of grip area, so pretty darn nice. Just over 4.5 inches when closed. All right, so that's this dimension here. Finally, 3.43 ounces, which is not too bad. Just to give you a comparison for those of you who own a feldspar, and I know many people do, the feldspar is 3.7 ounces, so just a little bit heavier, and you can sort of feel that it's a little slightly more substantial knife, and the blade stock is thicker. So I probably will do a side-by-side comparison of these, just because they are kind of close, and I could see someone who has a feldspar and really likes it thinking, I'm going to pick up the Scoria as well. And I don't think you're wrong to pick up the Scoria, by the way. Let's get into my final thoughts. I think it's actually a pretty decent knife to pick up. Depending on what you want, I think you can find some variations out there. I know there's an all black for sure. I was more interested in the burgundy or pink or whatever you want to call this. It's definitely not what I would call a hard use knife. So if the feldspar, which is a pretty substantial knife, has you kind of thinking along those lines, this is much slimmer and lighter. It's very slim in pocket, by the way, carries like it's not even there. So that would be the other side. If you've got a feldspar and you think it's just a little too beefy, this may be a great option for you because it's similar in quality, similar in performance, even in roll probably, but a little lighter and a little bit of a slimmer blade there. All right, so those are my initial thoughts on the CJRB. Let's get this out of the way. The CJRB Scoria, nice looking knife right there. One that I'm going to be happy to get to carry and use and sort of get familiar with over the next little while before I come back with a full review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.